Unbelievable.
A lot of pain during that last race.
Yeah, it sure was. Certainly was, heaps.
Well, your toughness has paid off. You've now in a commanding lead in the series.
Yeah, well, you got to sort of bite your teeth sometimes. You know, grin and bear it. But I don't know, I'm just glad it's over. I haven't been in so much pain since I ran the motorway, that's for sure.
Craig now stands well clear of his nearest rival, David. Glenn had broken his hand before Adelaide and couldn't ride, which puts first-timer Stephen Dinsdale in overall third place. Mackay, the sugar centre of northern Queensland. A land of the year-round summers, sunsets and the sweet smell of burning cane fields. Stephen Dinsdale is a contract cane cutter. He works till 8 or 9 each night burning the cane. The next day, he cuts it. By sunup, Stephen will have been at the controls of his harvester for 3 hours. That's a working day of 16 to 17 hours during the harvest season. And the sugar season mostly coincides with motocross.
Once crushing starts, you sort of get tied down a fair bit. You've got to be here from daylight till dark. You've got to be here almost weeknights to burn the cane. So even if you do finish early, you can't get away and go and do what you want. You've got to always be hanging around waiting for the wind to change just to burn the cane.
During the long hours you spend in the harvester, do you ever think about your racing?
Oh, you don't really get a lot of time to think about it. You're always thinking about what sort of job you're doing on the ground job and how you're filling the bin, and if you're not thinking about that, you're wondering whereabouts you're going to burn tonight and what else you're generally doing with the harvester mainly. But I don't get a hell of a lot of time to think about bikes.
Would you like to be a professional?
Yeah, I'd like to be. Only a few top motocrossers sort of make it through life being okay. You know, you get the guys that run second and third and they seem to drop out after a while, but I sort of thought about that, or maybe one of them, and what happens to you after you finish. You know, you come back home where you live and you haven't got a hell of a lot going for you. So you've got to start from scratch, you know, maybe when you're 20 years old or something like that.
Maroochydore Beach, just north of Brisbane, home of David Armstrong. David, unlike Stephen, is a professional rider. He has the time to relax, train and think motocross in the comfort of his luxury beachfront apartment.
But what really drives you to do well in motocross?
Winning. I suppose the money helps. Being a professional, you know, like, you got to pay the bills. Basically, winning, it helps when people, you know, they say, oh, I saw you the other day, you rode really well, seen your name in print. It's all an ego trip. It all helps, I suppose that is the thing.
And that sort of thing drives you to keep going?
I think it does, yeah. It's just, you know, you walk into a shop and pick up a magazine and see your name or your photo in there, it's a bit of a buzz. Do that, sort of keeps you going.
Do you think about motocross all the time?
It's funny about that. Yes. The whole life sort of revolves around motocross, you know. You socialise usually with people from motocross, so, you know, you talk motocross. We have others, but it always gets back to motocross.
So with 2 rounds to go, do you think there's now a chance of winning the series still?
People probably think I'm pretty negative, but I feel if Craig has a good run, there's no chance I'll win. If Craig has a bit of bad luck, which motorsport has happened in Adelaide, so it could happen here, you know, a couple of DNFs from Craig, and I'd be right back up in there if I was up winning. So I'm just going in there, hoping, just see what happens.
What would it mean to you to win Mr. Motocross?
Oh, everything.
Tivoli Circuit, Queensland, round 4. After all the injuries before or during the Adelaide round, all the riders turned up, and so did the crowds.
It's good to watch, enjoyable, plenty of action.
Just the excitement, I suppose, the speed, and having ride a bike myself, so you get to know how good these guys are. It'd have to be the most thrilling of any motorsport.
I think if I went on the track like they do, I'd kill myself. Yeah, it sort of take a lot of guts.
Oh, I tend to see Craig there.
Glenn Armstrong.
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 David Armstrong.
Up
Up to Queenslander.
Dak.
Oh, yeah, Dak, Craig Dak.
Craig Dak.
Craig's reputation guarantees him a good following, but this was David's home state, and everyone expected him to do well. But Moto 1 saw a great battle between Glenn and Craig, which Craig eventually won. And David, well, he battled with the trees.
Tried to pass Steve Dinsdale for third. I could see he was having a go at me back on the outside, so I just tried that a little bit harder over the jumps. Jumped too big, went off the track, and ended had my bike caught around a tree.
Really?
I missed the tree by about 6 inches, and the bike ended up caught around it.
Did you hurt your shoulder again?
No, nothing. I was lucky. I landed in a puddle.
Oh, really?
Thank God for puddles.
Didn't have your snorkel with you, unfortunately.
No. Oh, boy. When I went over the bars, bent the bars, so that was one problem. And then I noticed there was a couple of spokes broken when I was laying on the ground. And so we've changed the front wheel, and then we've noticed that there's a stud. There's 8 studs that hold the axle in, and one of those is broken, so just replace that too.
You'll get it done in time?
Yeah, I think they've got it out by the look of it now, and it should be right for the start of the next one. Try and do a better job.
Glenn had a flying start in the second moto and held on for first place, ahead of teammate James Deacon. The Queenslanders again had bad luck, with David involved in a harmless crash and Stephen Dinsdale down on the front straight on the second last lap.
to do it. Because I sort of wheel stood, and I knew in fact I was going to hit the bump sideways bump on it, and I knew I was going as soon as I wheel stood. Nothing I could do about it.
What hit you in the eye there, near the eye? Was that your...
I think my goggles come back in my face.
Yeah. Pete, probably.
My goggles.
I lost your Pete.
Stephen, you be all right?
Me? Yeah. I could see I fell off.
going
Could see stars, that's why I fell off again. I couldn't see where I was going. This is wipe it down now. Yes.
But Stephen made it back for a gutsy 6th place in the 3rd moto. A moto won again by Craig, who was close to cementing a series win before the final round. Moto 4 was the most exciting of the day. Craig had 2 falls on the first lap and came back from last on lap 1. Twelfth on lap 3. 6th at halfway point. And then 3rd behind Deegan and Dean Burke.
You were feeling tired in that last race, or but you didn't show because you came through fantastically.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I really didn't have time to think. I think once I caught up to Glenn, I passed Glenn. I figured, because I thought I had to just beat Glenn, and then I started thinking about how tired I was, and I slowed down until I saw Party Boy, and I caught him up again. But I felt tired in that. I think it was the 3rd one, where I got a bad start and I had to come through, and I got a 2nd win halfway through, and I took off again.
Yeah, you charged well on that one too.
Yeah.
But that leaves you now only 5 points away from winning the series.
Yeah, well, I can't complain.
Yeah.
So I won a good race in Sydney. It should clinch me the series.
Sadly, Tivoli was the end of Jimmy Ellis's racing career.
I've just been out there playing games with myself, I think, and I've got to make up my mind. I've got to get off the bikes and retire it, and I think today was the day I finally going to do it. I wanted to ride the Mr. Motocross Series, but it's a bit difficult to put in the effort like the rest of the guys. I'm the oldest guy doing it, so, I mean, how long can you do it?
You've got to stop sooner or later, haven't you?
It takes a good man to know when to quit.
That's very true.
Craig was now in the position to win the series with only 1 good race in the last round. David needed 4 straight wins to beat him, and Glenn was close enough to threaten David. Stephen, in his first series, was overall 4th. Travel is a large part of the motocross business. With meetings from Perth to Melbourne to Alice Springs, Craig estimates he spends well over $20,000 a year for him and his team just to turn up. And to pay those bills, you have to be there.
Is it financially secure for you? It is at the moment. Because I'm doing a fair bit of winning this year, and it's sort of paying off for me, but you know, the guys that aren't doing so much winning, it's a tough road for those guys. Guys like Lyndon Heffernan, he has to go to work, he works in a coal mine, you know, at night to pay for his travelling. So there's guys like that that do it hard, but only a handful of us are making good money out of racing itself to survive.
Craig, what kind of life is it really?
It's a good life. It's a little bit hard sometimes, you know, you've got to sacrifice a lot of things, and that's what people don't really realise. I've had a few little problems, you know, personal problems this year I've tried to get over, and it's mainly because of racing. You just, like a girlfriend problem, you got to sacrifice those sort of things to go racing, you know, and it's not as rosy and red as on the outside as